Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this one's going to be dedicated to learning about systems of equations using the elimination method. So if you guys watched my last video, which was really on systems of equation using the substitution method, this is just another, like the elimination method is just another method that you can use that may be faster in some situations on the SAT or ACT. It's really good to know both of them just because you can kind of see what the problem says and see which one would be more efficient and work more effectively in that scenario. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so as I said last time, systems of equations, what it's really asking you is to find out what x and y equal when these conditions are true. And just remember, this is just an example of a problem. All these numbers could be different ones, but they're always trying to get you to solve for x and or y. Alright, and they can always ask the question as, like, what ordered pair could this be? And just remember that an ordered pair is an x coordinate and a y coordinate. So it's basically like, if I were to solve for x, if this were my ordered pair, this is the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate, the answer that you get for x would go right here, and the answer that you would get for y would go right here. And once I finish solving this problem, I'll bubble it in here, just so that you can see kind of how it would look and maybe the answer choices that they give you. Alright, so yeah, let's get into this example, right? So our example right here is x plus 2y equals 3, and then 2x minus y equals 6. Alright, so in this scenario, it's pretty easy to use the elimination method because the elimination method is really so that you can cancel out either the x values or the y values to help solve for your answers, right? So let me show you what I kind of mean by that. So with the elimination method, you want to make sure, or you want to get to a point where these x values or these y values are the same so that you can cancel them out, right? So in this case, what I mean is you have an x and a 2x and then a 2y and a negative y. Right, so I'm going to pick the x's because they have the same sign, so they're both positive, so it's pretty easy to do that. And all you have to do to get these to be the same is just multiply x up top by 2. Alright, so I'm going to multiply this whole row by 2. Make sure that you do the entire row because you want to make sure that all of these conditions stay true, right? So what you're going to do is multiply this entire row, each little term, by 2. Right, so that would get you 2x plus 2 times 2y equals 4y. Right, and then equals, so 2 times 3 equals 6. Right, and then you just rewrite this under. And the thing that you're trying to get this one to match, you do not need to change that one because remember the purpose of the elimination method is that you have 2 values that are exactly the same so that you can cancel them out really easily. Right? So from this step, what you're going to do, so you see that 2x and 2x are the same here, and the way to cancel them out is just to subtract this 2x by that 2x, which would get you 0, which would cancel it out basically. So you just subtract the 2 and the x's are gone. Alright? And the same sign that you use here, you have to use with the entire problem, right? So we're just going to subtract all of these values by this, by the one under. Alright? So we did 2x minus 2x, which is equal to 0. So that's how you get the x values to cancel out. And then you will go over here to the y values. Then, if you're going to subtract the whole thing, it's 4y minus negative y. So I'll write that here. So 4y minus negative y. Right? And then that equals whatever 6 minus 6 is. So in that case, it's 0. So I'm going to simplify this a little bit. So remember, a negative times a negative equals a positive. So you're going to have 4y plus y equals 0, which would get you 5y equals 0. And then this, let me draw this over here, say y. Then you divide 5 on both sides because you're doing that backwards PEMDA method to figure out what y is in this case, and that would equal 0 if you do 0 over 5. And remember, anything 0 divided by anything is just going to be 0. That's why y is 0 in this case. And so now I have the y value, and if we're going back to this ordered pair that we were talking about before, if they ask you for the ordered pair, then you know that this is the y coordinate, so you can just put that right here in this step. But I'll write this. This is the y. Right? So you have that. And sometimes they'll just say stop there. But I want to teach you kind of how to keep going with this method. We did this in the substitution video as well, but I'll just do a little recap for you. So now that you have the y value, it's really simple to find out what the x value is, right? Because you can just plug it into one of these equations and it has to work. So in this case, I'm going to just plug it into here since the x is bare in this case. So I'll just do x plus 2, and then it's 2 times y, but we know y is 0, so it's 2 times 0, and that has to equal 3, right? So it's x plus, and then you have 2 times 0, which is 0, equals 3. So then you know x has to equal 3. Right, so there are your 2 answers, right? And sometimes I'll have you go in this form, so this would be the x coordinate. You just do that, right? So that's how you figure out systems of equations using the elimination method. In this case, I figure that it's easier when these numbers are very simple and you can easily see that, oh, if I just multiply this, then you can cancel out one of the terms very easily. I prefer substitution, but this is a great method if you have pretty simple numbers that they want you to do. So a little recap for this video. It's the elimination method. Remember, systems of equations are to find the x and y values like when these two lines were to intersect, or the ordered pair in which they do. All right, so in order to solve, you want to make sure that one of your terms like in x, the x's are equal or the y's are equal. You can choose either one, it doesn't matter. In this case, I just chose x because I thought it was easier. And then what you do, make those equal, figure out a way to cancel them out. In this case, it's subtraction. And then you use subtraction to really cancel out a lot of stuff. So 4y minus the negative y equals 5y, and then you do 6 minus 6, and that equals 0 in that case. And that's how you would figure out y in this case. And then remember, plug that in to find your other value. It doesn't matter if it's x or y. You just solve for the one that you didn't solve for first. And you can put it into ordered pair form if you would like. Alright, so let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this video helped. Thanks for watching.